its never-ending battle with rival soft drink Coca-Cola. From its humble origins more than
Oh god,
125 years ago in a
that is the most AI voice I've heard from AI so far. This might be a bit annoying to listen to.
North Carolina pharmacy, Pepsi has grown into a product available in multiple formulations. Find out how this simple soda
Michael.
became a player in the Cold War and became a pop star's best friend. The original formula for what would become Pepsi Cola was invented in 1893 by pharmacist Caleb Bradham of New Bern, NC.
1893
Born in
is crazy.
1867, Caleb Bradham grew up in Duplin County, North Carolina, and enrolled in 1886 at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. He later studied at the University of Maryland in hopes of being a medical doctor. But when his father declared bankruptcy, funds
Oh, that uni was small. Jesus. Holy shit. Alright.
soon ran out, and Bradham left medical school. After he returned to North Carolina,
Medical school to cola is crazy.
he never lost an interest in healthcare. He taught briefly at a private academy in New Bern before enrolling again at the University of Maryland, this time in the School of Pharmacy. After graduation, he opened Bradham's Pharmacy in New Bern, where locals loved to frequent and pay a nickel to be entertained by a jukebox featuring the piano and slash or the violin playing the latest musical selections. In this place, Bradham invented Pepsi Cola. In 1898, Bradham invented Pepsi Cola out of a concern to keep patrons and to improve their health. Wanting to have a different soft drink, one without the narcotics so frequently used in others during the time, the druggist experimented with various combinations of juices,
Cocaine.
spices, and syrups. His customers most liked the taste of his vanilla, rare oils, and cola nut extract combination. Bradham believed his product aided digestion and had no harmful effects, then it had no caffeine. New Bern residents requested frequently what they soon nicknamed Brad's Drink. His most popular beverage was he called Brad's Drink, a mix of some sugar, water, caramel, lemon oil, cola nuts, nutmeg, and other additives. As the beverage caught on, Bradham decided to give it a snappier name, eventually settling on Pepsi Cola. By the summer of 1903, he had trademarked the name and was selling his
That
soda
Russian
syrup
in the
to
bottom.
pharmacies and other vendors
Damn.
throughout North Carolina. By the end of 1910, franchisers were selling Pepsi in 24 states. At first, Pepsi had been marketed as a digestive aid, appealing to consumers with the slogan, exhilarating, invigorating, aids digestion. But as the brand flourished, the company switched tactics and decided instead to use the power of celebrity to sell Pepsi. In 1913, Pepsi hired Barney Oldfield, a famous race car driver of the era, as a spokesman. He became famous for his slogan, "Drink Pepsi Cola. It will satisfy you." The company would continue to use celebrities to appeal to buyers in the coming decades. After years of success, Caleb Bradham lost Pepsi Cola. He had gambled on the fluctuations of sugar prices during World War I, believing that sugar prices would continue to rise, but they fell instead, leaving Caleb Bradham with an overpriced sugar inventory. Pepsi Cola went bankrupt in 1923. In 1931, after passing through the hands of several investors, Pepsi Cola was bought by the Loft Candy Co. Charles G. Guth, Loft's president, struggled to make a success of Pepsi during the depths of the Great Depression. At one point, Loft even offered to sell Pepsi to executives at Coke, who refused to offer a bid. Guth reformulated Pepsi and began selling the soda in 12-ounce bottles for just 5 cents, which was twice as much as what Coke offered in its 6-ounce bottles. Touting Pepsi as twice as much for a nickel, Pepsi scored an unexpected hit as its "Nickel Nickel" radio jingle became the first to be broadcast coast to coast.
Cola, it's the box, 12 ounces, packs a lot, twice as much for a nickel too. Pepsi Cola is the drink for you. Nickel, 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 nickel.
That was fire.
Eventually, it would be recorded in 55 languages and named one of the most effective ads of the 20th century by advertising age. The company was changing in different ways. Pepsi acquired the Mountain Dew brand in 1964
Oh god,
and a year
really?
later merged with snack maker
Didn't
Frito-Lay.
know that.
The Pepsi brand was growing up quickly. By the 1970s, this once failing brand was threatening to displace Coca-Cola as the top soda brand in the US. Pepsi even made international headlines in 1974 when it became the first US product to be produced and sold within the USSR. Pepsi's efforts were successful enough that in 1985 Coke announced that it was changing its signature formula. New Coke was such a disaster that the company had to backtrack and reintroduce its classic formula, something Pepsi frequently took credit for. But in 1992, Pepsi would suffer a product failure of its own when the spin-off Crystal Pepsi
Oh
failed
god.
to impress Generation X
The
buyers.
hell is that?
It soon
See-through Pepsi. Alright.
was discontinued.
I'd try it.
Like its rivals,
Oh, that's
the
7-Up.
Pepsi brand
Love
has
the Pepsi as
diversified
well.
far beyond what Caleb Bradham could ever have imagined. In addition to the classic Pepsi Cola, consumers can also find Diet Pepsi, plus varieties without caffeine, without corn syrup, flavored with cherry or vanilla, even in 1893 brand that celebrates its original heritage. The company has also branched out into the lucrative sports drink market with the Gatorade brand, as well as Aquafina bottled
Oh,
water,
it's Gatorade?
energy drinks, and
Jesus.
Starbucks coffee beverages. Pepsi
I didn't
sponsored
know
the
that.
Super Bowl halftime show for a 7th straight year in 2020.
I don't watch the Super
On
Bowl.
Forbes' list of world's most valuable brands 2019, it holds 29th position. Pepsi's net worth is estimated up to $18.8 billion. It is believed that the earnings will increase with the years to come.
That was more informative than the Coke one. That's for sure. More history. Okay.